Welcome to the Long Run with Joel and Christy. I'm Christy, and today we're going to be picking up on a series that I started last week where I shared what it was like growing up in poverty in the state of Mississippi in 1970s and 80s. And so if you did not see that, I encourage you to go back and check that one out. I will link it in the description and the eye in the sky. But in this video, I'm hoping to transition just a little bit so that I can encourage those who are struggling today in this current economy that we are in. So if that is you, then please keep watching because this video is for you. Okay, so now I want to talk to you about how I find it frustrating myself when I hear someone say, if you're still in poverty, you're just not trying hard enough. I mean, first of all, I think about my dad and how challenging that must have been to keep trying to get through a school year and keep having to drop out. And no wonder he finally just dropped out for good. I can't imagine having been in that experience where every year your dad was like, everybody drops out today, we're all going to the cotton field because we can't afford for you not to work. You're all going to have to quit and work. And I'm not saying that my grandfather was wrong. They were already in poverty. Like, if you're in poverty, everybody has to work hard, right? You know? But then, like, I think when I was in school, you know, like a lot of people would have said, oh, well, you should have just like ran a newspaper route or something like that. We lived 7 miles out of town. What was I going to do? Jump on a bike and ride into town 7 miles to pick up the papers? Probably not. I mean, by the time I got there, like what time of the morning or middle of the night would I have had to start just to get there in time? Boy, that would have been dangerous for a kid to be riding 7 miles on country roads to get to town to deliver papers. You know, it's just not always feasible. I think maybe some people who say things like that, maybe they grew up in the city or suburbs and maybe they had more job opportunities than people in the country have. I will tell you, honestly, I think it is still a little challenging for people in the country because even with the possibility for online jobs and stuff like that, there are still some places where companies have not, cable companies and stuff have not ran lines down country roads, and they will tell them, oh, we might get to it in a few years or something like that. Or if you want to, you can pay for us to put it in, and they'll tell them that it's like a couple of $1,000s to put all those lines in. Well, if you're struggling financially, you don't have a couple of $1,000s to have the cable company run cables down your road. Could you imagine having to pay several $1,000s just to be able to get internet service at your home? Probably not. But people in the country, they may have that problem. They also may not have cell service like everyone else does. If they live in trailers, like their cell phones may not work inside. So saying, you know, oh, well, you can use your phone and make money off of that, they may not even have that option. I'm not making excuses for anyone. I'm not saying that you shouldn't try to find some options or that you just say, oh, well, I, you know, am going to live in poverty, you know, or anything, and you shouldn't try to find job opportunities. I'm just saying there's not always that easy as you're just not trying hard enough. Just try harder. Some people are trying really hard. So saying that someone is in poverty because they aren't trying is not really fair, since you don't know what they're doing to try to get out of it. Recently, we did a podcast playlist episode where we talked about how some people get tired of hearing frugal YouTubers use the coffee tip, which is basically don't buy coffee in cafes, make it at home, because you'll save money. And like I said in that video, I mean, we get it. That is a tip that does work. We know why people share it, because if you do buy coffee in coffee shops, then if you don't buy the coffee in the coffee shops, then you'll save that money, obviously. But we talked about how there's different groups of people who get tired of hearing the coffee tip, and one of them was people who have room in their budget for occasional coffee, and they don't feel bad about it because they have room for it in their budget. But we also talked about the other group of people who are tired of the coffee tip, and that's the people who are doing everything they can already. They've heard all the tips and they're tired of hearing the ones that they don't even have the money for anyway. They are living below the poverty line. They're not trying to buy coffee in coffee shops because they don't have the money to buy it in the first place. And so I'm bringing that up in this podcast because I wanted to tell you something that was said in our comment section on a prior video that had nothing to do with the coffee tip. I want to read what was said. I was really hoping to find something new in your podcast. However, it seems like everything I come across has been talked about before. If I even hear one more person tell me, don't go out for morning coffee or bring your lunch from home, people have no idea how low-income people are really being squeezed. I'm not sure why this comment was left on the video that she left it on, because we were talking about housing expenses like mortgage and electricity and stuff. We weren't talking about coffee or eating out. But can you imagine, just for a second, think about what it would be like if you didn't even have the money to entertain the idea of getting coffee out or eating out, and you're just trying to figure out how you're even going to pay your utilities. And every time you turn on a Frugal channel, they're telling you, don't get the coffee at the cafe. You'll save money. And they don't have that money. So I get it. I understand that that could be extremely frustrating. I will tell you that as far as the statement about not understanding how they're being squeezed, I can tell you what it was like growing up in poverty. I can't tell you that I understood everything that they were doing to save money. I know we were told no a lot. I know that we had to do some questionable things, just like taking baths in all the same water. I know that there was some questionable things that was done. We never went to the dentist. We didn't go to the doctors. We didn't, there was no preventative stuff going on. All of that was questionable. Now at least there is, you could get health insurance from the marketplace, and you might not have to pay for that. We get my health insurance from the marketplace. We do have to pay a little bit, but we're not below the poverty line. So if you're below the poverty line, maybe the marketplace would be free for you. I don't know. But I can't tell you all the things that could possibly save you money in this day and age, because I'm not currently under the poverty line. So I don't know all the answers to how to fix a situation like that. We started our channel because when Joel lost his job 10 years ago, I had been eating really healthy, was on a diet plan and stuff. And when he lost his job, we quit the diet plan. I had been going to a weight loss clinic, quit the weight loss clinic, and then went to eating all these extreme frugal recipes that had questionable ingredients, jarred and canned foods that had a lot of sodium in it. And my body was just like, no. And so we started the channel because I had been on a journey of figuring out how to actually eat healthy and still keep my grocery budget down. That's why we started. We never meant to be extreme frugality. One of the things that we mentioned in that podcast video about, if you don't have an extreme frugality tip for somebody who's needing more, suggest some YouTube channels that are more extreme than yours, and maybe they will be able to provide a tip that you haven't thought of. And so, as you know, we're not extreme frugality. We're more about health on a budget and like a medium level of frugality. So, I'm going to throw out a few YouTube channel names if you are looking for some. Under the Median, Frugal Money Saver, Prepper Princess, also See Mindy Mom and Frugal Fit Mom, who I don't see them as extreme frugal channels, but they both have like a series of videos where they might say, how many meals can I make out of $5 or $10 or something like that? And they challenge themselves to do that. And so that might help you if you need to have extreme budgets like that. While we do show how to save money while you're physically in the store and make sure that you know you're getting the best deal, we don't tend to do those types of videos because, again, I've chosen some ways to do extreme frugal meals in the past and my body didn't respond well to that. So I can't really do those. So check them out for those types of videos, and then hopefully that'll help you create that where you're able to spend less on your groceries in that way too. And then check out our videos to make sure that you actually get the best value while you're in the store. So if you feel like, oh, I know all those channels, I know their tips and they're nothing different, or you leave this video and you go and you still don't feel like they're giving you any tips that you don't already know, then you may be in a more serious situation than any of the frugal YouTubers can help you with. And you may need to do some other things. And I don't know, maybe you've done these, but there's got to be an answer. But here's some things. One is call local churches. Most local churches have benevolence funds that they can help you in a situation. Maybe they can help pay for your utilities this month or something like that. And then also, like, check out places like Second Harvest Food Bank or other food banks, any kind of food banks in the area. Having the food come from there instead of having to buy it at the grocery stores might help you get ahead or at least get caught up. Also, I know some people have such a stigma about this, and I get it, but apply for government assistance. If you're not sure what's available in your area, Google it, or go to the local library and Google it. See what you can apply for, and don't feel guilty about doing this right now in this season of your life. I know I said how embarrassing it was when all the kids knew. Well, yeah, but I didn't understand. They didn't understand. And it's just a fact of life. And it's something that I wish no one had to go through. No one had to be on free lunches, and no one had to be on food stamps or SNAP benefits or whatever you call it now. But it's there for a reason, and it's there when life gets hard. And more than ever right now, this life is getting hard. And there's probably other people on SNAP benefits right now, even more than they were back in the 70s and the 80s when I was in school. There may be more people now on it than then. Just don't feel guilty. Just take the help right now where you can get it and get ahead, get caught up. Also, while you're looking for ways to save money, and also you are looking for ways to possibly get some assistance, also look for side hustles. And you may be thinking, I just want some tips to save money. If your financial situation is that bad, it may be time to look at some more opportunities. It may be even time to look for jobs that may pay more. It may be time to look for a job that takes you from living where you live. You might have to move. Joel and I moved after he lost his job. About 3 years later, we were still struggling. He had a job opportunity come up. It was 4 states away from where we lived. We moved, but it was for higher income. And then we moved from there to where we live now. Again, a pay increase was involved. And that's one of the reasons why we're not struggling as much as we were 10 years ago, because we made moves when we had to. And then also, we do side hustles from time to time just to help bulk up our savings a little bit, bulk up our sinking funds. We will do that. And so look at those side hustle opportunities. If it's an online side hustle, be sure to check it online to make sure that it has good reviews with the Better Business Bureau. I will just put the name of the company and then BBB review, just to make sure that you aren't getting hoodwinked by a scam. So be sure to check that out before you go with any online ones. But there are good online jobs out there. You just have to do your due diligence to make sure that you're not being scammed. So to summarize what I learned growing up in Mississippi in the 70s and 80s below the poverty line is, one, it is not as easy to get out of poverty as some people may make it sound. And it's sad that people make it sound like it's just so easy, but it's not. And then second, if you are having to get SNAP benefits and free lunches for your kids and stuff like that right now, that's okay. This is what it's there for. It's for such a time as this, and you're going to be fine. And also, I want to say, I didn't really say this earlier, but get involved in a local church. Don't just go, it's fine to go to contact them and ask them for assistance to get out of your financial situation, but also join a local church. One of the reasons why is because when you're struggling financially, you need people who will pray with you and to help you. I know that growing up, I was involved in church, and some of the church ladies were there. They would do things for me because they knew that my family couldn't afford to do it. So I really highly encourage you to get involved in local church, and not just so that they'll give you a handout, but especially where they'll pray for you while you're going through this. I hope that helps. And I know I've probably been all over the place in this video, and I apologize for that. But I really I wanted to make sure that I got this out there, that I do understand, and I know it's hard, and I wish that I had all the answers. If any of you have any tips for extreme frugality tips that maybe you think maybe no one else knows about, or you grew up below the poverty line, please let us know down in the comments. Tell us some of your experiences. Maybe you have a better grip on what people can do that are below the poverty line to save money, or to at least get out of the paycheck to paycheck cycle, things like that. Let us know down in the comments. Let's help each other out by sharing those things, okay? Also, if you know any frugal YouTubers that you feel like that person is sharing tips that I've never heard anyone else share, don't link them, because YouTube won't allow that to show up, but just write out their name. And that way, maybe if somebody is looking for a frugal YouTuber that's got some tips for them, maybe they will find them through your comment. If you found value in this video, I would love it if you give us a like, a share, and be sure to subscribe for more in the future, especially if you are looking for tips on how to save money in the grocery store so that you don't spend a fortune on just trying to live a healthy life. then this channel is for you, and we would love to have you join our community. Until the next time, this is Christy with The Long Run with Joel and Christy saying, it's a long run. Give yourself a little grace. Bye.